Jericho says you can wrestle and not be pumped up.
I think wrestling is a very stereotypical image that it's all the big, huge behemoths and the Neanderthals that really make the big cash and really make it big. And hey, there are a lot of huge guys that make it, but there's other guys that aren't as huge that actually had to go and learn how to be a good wrestler to make it.
Big, small, in between. Today, wrestlers may be split on what it takes to make it, but there's only one man who decides who wins and who loses. Vince McMahon. Coming up.
Is the WWE steroid-free, drug-free?
That's Chris as a 15-year-old standing in the Rocky Mountains. He started lifting weights at the age of about 13 in the basement, and he would not go out. If the guys called and said, come on out and hang out, he'd say, no, gotta lift my weights.
Even at age 13, Chris Benoit already knew what he wanted to be.
It was really a passion, and he wanted to be a professional wrestler.
Michael Benoit did not share that passion, but he loved his son. The weights were a present for Chris.
I dread the time that I even bought the weight set. You look back in your life and look at the mistakes you've made. That was the biggest mistake I ever made.
Young Benoit's passion turned to obsession. He grew stronger, bigger, and on weekends, he would convince his father to let him drive the 3 hours from his home in Edmonton, Alberta, to Calgary, the very heart of Canada's wrestling empire.
He really thought a fellow by the name of the Dynamite Kid, that became his idol, and really his wrestling style, he really followed the Dynamite Kid.
Looking back, Mike Benoit believes allowing Chris to idolize the Dynamite Kid was an even bigger mistake.
It started with the verbal abuse and, putting me down in front of other people.
Michelle Smadou was just a teenager when she met and fell in love with Tom Billington, the Dynamite Kid. They married, had a child, and soon after, Michelle says the Dynamite Kid began to explode.
He certainly wasn't the guy you fell in love with.
No. He was the gentleman that kicked out his wife and 3-week-old baby.
And do you blame it all on the steroids?
Yes.
Tom Billington came to Canada from Manchester, England to become a pro wrestler. Like Chris Benoit, Billington was a small man in a big man's ring.
For the first time, they were allowing a smaller person to come in and take those top spots. The bigger he got, the more fame he gained, the more in demand he was.
From Canada, the Dynamite Kid moved up to McMahon's WWF. He became one half of the British Bulldog tag team, but behind the scenes, he was crumbling.
The steroids started, the drug use, prescription drugs, because of the injuries, which also starts with the alcohol.
Michelle says at home, the kid was out of control, at one time dragging her by the hair, holding a gun to her face.
It became so bad that I just wanted to get out, and the way I was going to get out was I put my 2 children on the bed, the master bed, Bronwyn and Merrick, and Tom had a lot of guns, so I went to get his gun, and I wanted to shoot Bronwyn and Merrick, and then myself. And